Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Platinum with only one Chingling was strangely well-paced with an incredibly close ending. Let's follow that up with a fun one. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Heart Gold with a team of only one Regigigas. Alright, so I thought it would be too easy when I first used Regigigas in Platinum, but it turned out to be one of the most perfectly balanced and fun runs I've done in ages. It just turned out so perfectly balanced that, for the most part, we never really needed to grind, and we always landed at the perfect level to have a really exciting fight at every boss we ran into. Basically, it made for the perfect run. As you can see, his stats are all awesome, especially his high attack, but his ability Slow Start means that for the first 5 turns of the battle, we have half of the attack and speed. That's our big handicap. By level up, we do get some decent stuff, but not much that I'm actually very interested in. I'd love those elemental punches if not for how we start off with so many level 1 moves that we won't have any of the good ones when we start. We could get them with heart scales later though, and I think that I will. Dizzy Punch is kinda cool. By TM we can learn a lot of stuff, including some really good moves like Earthquake and Thunderbolt. No Ice Beam, but I guess we could get Ice Punch, and that would probably do better for us anyway because of our high attack. Now that I think about it, maybe it's not even worth getting Thunderbolt. Our special attack is just so much lower that Thunder Punch is probably still going to be a better move. I really wish that we could get Rest. It would help us a lot with stalling until Slow Start ends, but I'll have to settle for Substitute. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I can for sure win, I'm just excited to play, really. The previous Regigigas challenge was a fun challenge to play. I'm hoping this will be too. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Regigigas. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battles. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Totodile with Regigigas so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Gigas, just like last time. Our nature is lonely, so more attack and less defense. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I love the extra attack, but less defense on a normal type just means we'd be a sitting duck for fighting moves until Slow Start is over. You know what? That actually sounds really fun, though. I think I'm gonna keep it. Okay, so in case you were wondering if Slow Start matters at all in terms of, like, early game travel, no, not at all. I mean, how could it? We have, like, 24 attack at level 5. Even if you cut that in half, 12 is still great attack for this area of the game. Plus, Dizzy Punch is 70 power, plus the same type attack bonus. I'm calling it now. Nothing stands a chance against us until the normal gym. I'm gonna try and avoid encounters to keep our level low until the first thing that we fight that can actually beat us. Let's see what happens. So we reached the Flying Gym at level 11 and beat the whole thing at a lower level than them before Slow Start wore off, thanks to some really funny confusion luck off of Dizzy Punch on the first try. Whatever, I'll take it. Alright, so the next 2 major battles of the game are our rival and the Bug Gym. Now, I'm not too worried about our rival fight since we have Foresight for his Ghastly, but I do think that there's a chance that the Bug Gym could be a problem. I figure that the Scyther is going to use Focus Energy, so if he has healing items, he might last a while and crit us a lot. Maybe I should save the Bug Gym for after the rival fight. Alright, first, our rival. I went ahead and used Foresight to easily punch out Ghastly as he wasted time with Spite and Mean Look for some reason. Zubat wasn't really able to do anything either, we're just too tanky. Last was Quilava, who ended up confused off a Dizzy Punch, making him trivial. I love when that happens. I never used to get confusion off Dizzy Punch. It feels good to finally have it happen. Anyway, we're walking into the Bug Gym at a lower level than his Scyther, so this might be rough. So in Heart Gold, Bugsy starts the fight with Scyther, and instead of Fury Cutter, it likes to use Focus Energy and Leer. Naturally, that's exactly what it tries to do. It crits for massive damage, but we did manage to take it out. Part of the damage we dealt was just from Confuse Ray making him hit himself, though. After he went down, his Metapod and Kakuna were both super easy to knock out. So that went really smoothly. Hey, we're back on the road again. The normal gym is next, and I was predicting that this would be the first time that we lose, and I'm sticking to that prediction. I'm still feeling like it's the moment we're gonna meet our match. Miltank is just a beast. Plus, it's not Sunday, so I can't grab the TM for return for an even stronger move. Dizzy Punch will just have to do for now. Maybe if I get desperate later, I could change the clock on my computer or something. Oh yeah, and I remembered that there is no game corner, so I can't exchange money for coins to get Substitute without doing Voltorb Flip. So yeah, I save-stated Voltorb Flip into oblivion, and I have zero remorse about it because having no option to exchange money for coins is cruel and unusual punishment. At least this is the cheapest TM here. Alright, normal gym. First is Clefairy, who loves using Metronome. I hit a Dizzy Punch for good damage, and her double slap did almost nothing, so I decided to just use Substitute to try and waste time. She started using Metronome to hit moves like Zen, Headbutt, and Blizzard, but it wasn't enough to break her Substitute. After a few rounds, I finished her off. Miltank stomps to finish off our Substitute as we confuse her and got our act together, but she had a berry to get rid of the confusion. We're faster now though, so I was able to put up a Substitute and get another hit in. 2 stomps take out a Substitute, so at half health, I just went for it and landed another Dizzy Punch for the win. Fun fight! Well, we still don't have our first loss, so that's pretty sweet. I don't want to get too overconfident since the Ghost Gym is coming up and that might be a bit harder for us, but we'll see. We have to use Foresight on each individual one to be able to hit them, so that's a lot of wasted time. This is Heart Gold, so we have to take out our rival first. While we travel though, this is a great time to talk about this episode's sponsor, Chimera. Now, I don't know about where you are, but where I am, it's properly becoming winter now. Every day it's either freezing cold slush and hail or a winter wonderland of snow, so it's time to bundle up. I was talking last time about Chimera's super nice hoodies, and yeah, those would still be super nice. But this is the actual winter coat that I wear when I'm outside in Canadian winters. When the famous Nancy Drew Let's Player MDB has to shovel the snow, it's this high-quality Chimera winter puffer jacket that keeps him warm. So if you want to support the channel and look good while doing it, then hit up the link in the description to go to Chimera and pick up something warm to wear this winter. If you're gonna go pick something up, then make sure to use the promo code Mah-Dry-Bread at checkout for 10% off your order, and to let them know that I sent you. Now, will the rival fight go well? I'm kinda 50-50. Okay, so third try, because the first 2 times we instantly got hit by Curse, of course. But this time he used Mean Look, so I just got to use Substitute. Then I confused him, used Foresight, and one-shot him with Dizzy Punch while he was trying to waste time trying to put effects on us while we had Substitute up. Second was Bayleaf, who put up a Reflect right away. Things worked out great though, as we shook off Slow Start, Dizzy Punched him to confuse him, he hit himself, then we knocked him out without getting hit. Next is Zubat, who was a one-shot, and last was Magnemite, who didn't really take much damage from Dizzy Punch at first, but as soon as Reflect wore off, we got the knockout. Not bad at all. But how will the Ghost Gym go? Wow, Ghost Gym was super easy. We just put up Substitute, and they spent the whole fight failing effect moves. They only landed 1 hit on us the entire time. It went great. It felt kind of like a Gen 1 fight in that the AI just completely failed to realize what was going on. Alright, I know I keep predicting something stopping us, but it's gotta be one of the next 2 gyms. We've got the Fighting Gym, and we're a normal type with bad defense nature, and then we've got the Steel Gym, and that's just always hard. I figure that maybe learning a fighting type move like Drain Punch could help. Not that I really want to get rid of any of my moves right now. I guess Confuse Ray could go, I just use it to help stall, and it's not actually incredibly useful at the moment. Whereas Drain Punch would at least help us a lot in the Steel Gym. Plus, it would be a way of getting our health back that we lose from making substitutes. Let's give it a try. First is Primeape, who uses Double Team a lot. That could be a problem. As he spams it like crazy, I just keep missing Dizzy Punches. It does a good job of wasting time so we can get our act together after only losing 1 substitute, but man, we were missing like crazy. We lucked out on getting him confused and hitting himself a little bit, but his evasion was so bad that I figured I'd lose, until I remembered that Foresight lets you ignore evasion buffs, so I just used that and took him out. I wish I would have remembered that sooner. Thankfully, after that was Poliwrath, who missed Hypnosis and then failed some Focus Punches to easily go down. Hey, that was actually a first try. The Steel Gym starts with Magnemite, so right away I use Substitute, so his Thunder Waves fail, and then Drain Punch for health and Dizzy Punch to waste time, and get her to waste her Hyper Potions. This strategy went super well, letting us not only put up a Substitute, but also let us heal a lot and shake off Slow Start. The second Magnemite went down just as easily. Last is Steelix though, the real threat. Right away, we're hardly doing any damage, and she set up a Sandstorm, so we're actually taking health damage in spite of the substitute. Not only that, but every time I make a substitute, it just gets one-shot by Iron Tail, so I have to keep fighting. Drain Punch let me heal a decent amount, but his defense was just too high. We got a lucky crit that brought Steelix to an absolute sliver before she hit Iron Tail to take us down. Oh, that was agonizingly close. I figured I'd go do the Rocket Hideout for levels, since it's the last bit of travel with trainers that we can do right now before we can make progress, so we may as well go do that in the Ice Gym while we're in town. The Ice Gym's usually pretty easy anyway, and I've got fighting moves, so I don't think it's going to give us any issues. Hopefully, by the end of it, we'll be at least level 35 to match that of the Steelix that's been beating us. Next up is the Ice Gym. Seal is pretty weak, so it's easy to set up Substitute and just two-shot it to take it down quickly. Next is Piloswine, who takes shockingly little damage from Drain Punch before making it hail. Then we missed our next Drain Punch and lost our Substitute to Blizzard. That sucked. We shook off Slow Start and hit another Drain Punch for great damage, but then we missed the follow-up, taking even more hits by Blizzard. We took him out, but with about a third of our health left. Last is Dugong, but we hit really hard, so it's not that bad. He had potions, but we still took him out. If anything, all of his healing items just healed us up thanks to having Drain Punch. It was still harder than I expected, but not that hard of a gym. Okay, so we're level 37 by the time we got back to the Steel Gym. The Megamites just spam Afflictions at our Substitute, so we easily shake off Slow Start and get to Steelix every time. Pretty much this whole fight is her almost never using Iron Tail and us just very slowly chipping away with Dizzy Punches and Drain Punch as a result. We were still hardly doing any damage, and I was really worried about power points, but we landed a crit for the win. It was bound to happen eventually. We were attacking for ages. Alright, that means we only have a few major fights left before the Elite Four. We have a rival fight in the underground of the radio tower, then we have the Dragon Gym. Now that one might be kinda hard, but I don't think we need Drain Punch that badly anymore, and the city with the Dragon Gym is also the one where we can learn Ice Punch, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. I figure with Ice Punch, the Dragon Gym won't be too hard. Then it's one more rival fight and we're on to the Elite Four. This is going great! So the rival starts with Golbat, and right away we're taking more damage than I expected. We wasted a few turns and took him down, but we're already at about half health. Thankfully, next was Magnemite, who was a one-shot with Drain Punch, so we got a little bit of health back. Meganium got confused off Dizzy Punch, but managed to set up Reflect before going down, so that might cause issues. Next is Sneasel, who was a one-shot anyway thanks to type effectiveness of Drain Punch, and that actually fully healed us. Last was Haunter, but there's nothing he could have done to stop us at this point. Why he tried Confuse Ray on the Substitute, I don't know, but we won, so whatever! Now, as awesome as Drain Punch is, it's time to replace that with Ice Punch for the next gym. I'll go grab a Heart Scale and learn it. Dragon Gym time, but this one starts off so bad. Water Onyx is first and has Intimidate, so our attack is down the whole fight. Plus he has Dragon Rage, and it really messed us up. Our moves were hardly doing any damage either, so it really wasn't looking good. We took out Water Onyx with literally only 2 health left. Next was a Dragonair, who was a one-shot with Ice Punch, but third is Kingdra, and we just don't stand a chance. We hit kind of hard, but we had like 5 health left. We were doomed. Hey, maybe if I could just Thunder Punch the Water Onyx, then we would have enough health to win. So I went out and got Thunder Punch, but it's still not a one-shot on Water Onyx. I tried this fight a dozen times, figuring that there must be some way to use Substitute at the perfect time to get through this fight, but I had no luck. The best I could ever do is easily losing to Kingdra over and over and over. I really do have to just get stronger this time. I'll go do some Voltorb Flip to get my hands on a Silk Scarf for a stronger Dizzy Punch, get a few levels, then I think we can win this. Okay, after a few tries at level 50, we finally started to see some decent progress. Dragon Rage is still a massive pain, but we land a one-shot with Thunder Punch, so he hits a lot less than he used to. Dragonair actually isn't a one-shot this time since we still have Slow Start, but we still took it out pretty fast. As Kingdra came out, I had to take a Hydro Pump and set up a Substitute, leaving us with only 8 health, but we shook off Slow Start. I kept hitting Dizzy Punch, he kept hitting Hydro Pump, and it doesn't take long before our Substitute breaks and she fully heals. I thought we were doomed just for us to have the speed advantage and hit 2 Dizzy Punches for the knockout. Last was the final Dragonair, but we were faster this time and could one-shot it. Finally, a win! Hey, all that's left is a massive chunk of travel through Tin Tower before we can fight our rival and then the Elite Four. Yeah, in Heart Gold you have to go encounter the box legendary before you can progress at this point. Weird, right? I'm just happy this is gold because I would get so lost trying to find Lugia. Tin Tower is a bit of a maze, but I don't find it to be too bad. What matters most is that we have a rival fight coming up, so I made sure to grab the TM for Earthquake on the way. I can't think of a time that we're actually gonna need it for sure, but I see no harm in holding on to the TM. Still, we might get more uses out of the punches than we will Earthquake. Alright, rival time. Right away, Sneasel did just about nothing, so we just one-shot it with a Dizzy Punch, and second was Golbat. We lucked out and Air Cutter missed, as we nailed another one-shot. Nice! I doubt Air Cutter would have done much damage, but I'm still happy it missed. Meganium put up a Reflect right away, so Ice Punch didn't hit as hard as I wanted, and we totally lucked out with Poison Powder missing before we set up Substitute. Once we had it set up though, we were in the clear. We shook off Slow Start and finished him off. Magneton was next, and right away we confused it with a Dizzy Punch and took it out on the follow-up. This is going really great. Kadabra was one-shot with a Dizzy Punch, and last was Haunter, who went down in one Ice Punch. Easy fight. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. 224 attack is hilarious, but if we start with half of that, then that's 112. That's actually pretty close to what our attack is in a lot of first form Pokemon runs. I actually think this could be pretty hard. I don't think I'm gonna beat Lance quite yet, but we'll see. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Psychic Trainer Will. First was Xatu, and I had a bit of a long fight with her, but that's good. It was mostly dropping her health low over and over so that Will would use healing items. Plus, it wastes time, so we can get rid of our Slow Start. After a few rounds, we get a knockout, and next is Jinx, who hardly hurts us with Ice Punch before getting dropped to a Sliver. I thought we would finish it off, when it got us with Lovely Kiss, so we fell asleep and took some more damage before we could wake up and finish her off. It's getting iffy. Executor is next, so I Ice Punch for a one-shot, and Slowbro is after that. Believe it or not, he was also a one-shot. I kinda didn't think he would be. Last is Xatu, who is of course a one-shot now that Slow Start is over. It wasn't bad, although we did get hit hard early on. Second is Poison Trainer Koga. Right away, I Substitute since Koga loves using effect moves. 2 Dizzy Punches takes down Ariados, and second is Fortress. Now, I was hardly doing any damage to him at all, but he wasn't really doing much to us either, and him using stuff like Protect just wastes turns so we could get rid of Slow Start. We even got him to use healing items, and I'd much rather he use those on a weak Pokemon like Fortress rather than something that could actually make us faint. Next is Muck, and he's tanky, but Slow Start is over, so we absolutely rocked him with Dizzy Punch to make him nearly faint. He used Minimize, but we took him out on the follow-up. Second from last is Crobat, who was a one-shot with Thunder Punch, and last is Venomoth, who couldn't handle a Dizzy Punch. Smooth sailing so far. Third is Fighting Trainer Bruno. Hitmontop is first, and of course I missed Dizzy Punch because of Dig, then get a Substitute in, but it's not a big deal. I'm just happy he's using Dig to waste time. Once we landed Dizzy Punch, it was a crit, so we one-shot him anyway. Hitmonlee's high jump kick took out our Substitute, but he has low defense, so he got one-shot. Machamp came out as we sped back up, so we could just outspeed him and one-shot him before he could mess us up. After that is Onix. I made sure to use another Substitute since we had the chance now, although that did give him a chance to use Sandstorm, so we're taking damage. We couldn't one-shot him, and he hit Earthquake, but our Substitute is at least still up. He used a full restore, but then we crit to take him out. Last is Hitmonchan, and our health is low, but we just took him out in one hit. Fourth is Dark Trainer Karen. Umbreon is first and is a pretty strong Pokemon, so I start with Substitute. It started with Double Team, so I just went for the attack and not only confused it, but it hit itself in confusion 2 times in a row. Now, if I was really lucky, it would have fainted, but it landed with a Sliver and full healed, so I had to keep fighting it. But hey, it gave us the time we needed to get rid of Slow Start, and she never landed a hit on us before going down. For Gengar, we had to use Ice Punch, but once again, we lucked out and Focus Blast missed, so we didn't lose our Substitute when we probably should have. Houndoom is pretty frail, so it went down in one punch, and Murkrow is really frail and went down in one punch. Last is Vileplume, who, of course, was a one-shot. That went super smoothly. Did I even take a hit? Finally, the Pokemon champion Lance. Water Onix is first, so our attack is down the whole fight, and he hits Waterfall before we use Substitute, so we already have just above half health. He ended up taking out our Substitute really fast, but I put it back up right away. I've learned from many failed tries at this fight that I can't win if I don't shake off Slow Start before we make Water Onix faint. So by spamming Substitute every turn until Slow Start was over, I was able to take out Water Onix with only 13 health left. But thanks to no more Slow Start, we're faster than Dragonite and can one-shot it with Ice Punch. Normally he'd make us faint easily. Next is 2 more Dragonites, but they're all one-shots. It's no problem at all. After that is Charizard, and we can't one-shot him, but he only had one chance to attack us with Air Slash and it didn't crit, so our substitute is still standing. He used some healing items, but spamming Thunder Punch took him out. Last was Aerodactyl, but one Thunder Punch takes him down. That was a super weird strategy, but hey, it got me a win. With that victory, we get into the Hall of Fame and win the run, but you know it's not over yet. Gen 2 has all of Kanto in the postgame, including 8 gym battles and a secret final boss fight with Red. 7 of those 8 gym battles are pretty easy since they're weaker than the Elite Four, so we're gonna skip ahead to the next real challenge, Blue. I made sure to pick up the leftovers on the way. Yeah, it means our Dizzy Punch won't be as strong since we're not using the Silk Scarf, but our health regeneration, while we have Substitute, is gonna be really nice. So he starts with Executor. I use Substitute as he uses Trick Room, and I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what that move does. What I do know is that my second Ice Punch took him to a sliver of health, so he had to use a full restore early. This is what I want to have happen, since it lets us waste more time so that we can speed up. He managed to take out our Substitute, but I set up a new one before making him faint, just in case. Next is Machamp, who's faster than us, took out the Substitute with a critical Dynamic Punch. That's when things got bad. Next round, he hits Dynamic Punch directly on us, doing a ton of damage and confusing us. We still got our Substitute in, and finished him off in between rounds, but we're hurt. RK9 took a huge hit from Dizzy Punch and took out our Substitute in response, but I Dizzy Punched again to finish it off. Next is Rhydon, so I set up a Substitute and he hit Stone Edge to instantly make it faint. Oh, that's really not good. I went ahead and hit Ice Punch for great damage, but he just finished me off with Earthquake. Okay, that sucked, but I think with a few more levels, a little bit of a different strategy, and just a little bit of luck, we're pretty close to winning this. Okay, level 70. Executor still goes pretty much the same way as before, but Machamp right after goes much better. We got our act together so we could go first, Dizzy Punch him to red health in one hit, and yeah, he took out our Substitute, but this time he never got to hit us directly so we could finish him off with full health. As RK9 came out, we lost attack since we don't have a Substitute out this time, so that kinda sucks. I sent one up, but he just Flare Blitzed it down instantly, so I went for another Substitute. Naturally, he hits it again and takes it out again, but he's taking recoil damage from this. I was kinda holding out hope that maybe he only made the first one go down from a crit, but no such luck. I just went for a punch and nearly took him out when he got a Flare Blitz directly on us for a lot of damage. We took him out on the follow-up, but we're hurt. Next is Rhydon, so I go straight for Ice Punch. I was worried that I wouldn't beat him, but we ended up making him freeze. I took that as my chance to use Substitute, then finish him off with a critical Ice Punch. Second from last is Water Onix, who was a one-shot with Thunder Punch, and last was Pidgeot, who was almost a one-shot, but he hit a return that didn't even make our Substitute faint, so we took him out. We actually beat Blue at level 70. That's pretty good. Alright, so that means we're on the path to Red. Now, Red is a lot harder in Heart Gold than he is normally in Gold. So I'm expecting I'm either going to have to be level 100 or close to it to win, even with a Legendary. His Pikachu has a light ball, so I'm expecting him to hit incredibly hard off the bat. I do think it'll be possible though. I figure that by level 100, our leftovers will be healing us by quite a lot, and we'll hopefully have a speed advantage on everything by that point. At least after the first 5 turns. Our effort values are already long maxed out, so I can use rare candies until we're whatever level we can win at. Let's start making attempts. First attempt! We got outsped, hit with Volt Tackle, then fainted to our Substitute and Hail on the first turn. Well, in fairness, he's like 20 levels higher than us and has a light ball. It's probably stupid to even try this fight at a lower level than them, isn't it? Okay, let's start the real attempts at level 85. That's around the average for Red's team. So I tried this fight a bunch of times and quickly realized I simply have to use Dizzy Punch right away against Pikachu. We still take tons of damage, but if we use Substitute and try to waste time, then we never get a chance to knock him out. Second is Blastoise though, and not only is he also faster than us, but he hits us really hard with Focus Blast, a fighting type move. So far I've never gotten past 3 rounds of this fight. I'm not actually gonna lose to Red with a Legendary, am I? Level 90. Yeah, the fight goes the exact same. If I chose Thunder Punch with Blastoise, then I can do some decent damage, but we're still slower than him and just can't take him out. Hey, I've never beaten Red in one of these Heart Gold runs, right? Maybe this is why. I'm kind of thinking that I'm just not gonna be able to take out Red and Heart Gold with one Pokemon. period. Level 95. So after 7 straight tries where we got paralyzed off either Volt Tackle or Static, we got this one where the fight went basically the same. We ended up surviving a hit from Blastoise and got a knockout thanks to Hail, but then next was Venusaur, who's 11 levels lower than us and yet still faster than us, so we get finished off. Look, if I can't win this fight with Regigigas, then it's fair to say that there's no point in trying for red on Heart Gold solo runs, right? I know we have Slow Start holding us back, but the only way I can explain the kind of damage they're doing is by assuming they have unbelievably good stats. Here's our stats at level 100, by the way. 421 attack is hilarious, although that's after Slow Start is over. Still, these stats are incredible. Probably the highest stats I've ever had in a single Pokemon in my, 3 or 4 years of doing these solo Pokemon challenges, and yet we are losing really badly to Red. I could slap a Silk Scarf back on him, but we don't really need more damage out of Dizzy Punch. We need to survive a few more turns to get rid of Slow Start, then bulldoze them, so the leftovers really help. Alright, level 100. Everything goes the same as usual until Blastoise, who missed his first Focused Blast. I've never had that happen before. He hit the second one, but thanks to his first one missing, we took him out with half our health left. That's when, for some reason, Red sent out Snorlax instead of Venusaur. We hit for passable damage, and his Blizzards did just about nothing, except for how he froze us solid. Yeah, we lost because of that. I guess he kinda got lucky to freeze me, but I had to get lucky with Focus Blast missing, so that's the only reason I got that far. And if Venusaur came out, then I would have just lost again. I think it's safe to say I can't win this one. At least not the post-game I can't. Maybe somebody else could come along with a more perfect strategy, or a better Regigigas could, but I don't think I'm the right man for this job. I guess I could get a Quick Claw and hope for absolutely insane attacking first luck, but this fight has a permanent hailstorm, so not having leftovers means our health is constantly draining in the entire fight. I don't think we can afford to switch held items. Well, that was way harder than I expected at the end. I guess it's my own fault for underestimating Red, but man, I really thought that having Regigigas would mean that I win the fight eventually. I guess Slow Start really held us back on that fight more than I thought it would. Anyway, I hope you guys like that run. The next challenge will be up next week on Saturday like usual. I can't spoil what it's gonna be because I'm still planning it out a little bit, but it is getting awful close to Christmas when that's going up. Ooh, that's exciting. Maybe I have to do something special there. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments in the challenge request section of my Discord channel and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. As much as I would love to do a never-ending outro, I do have to get a ton of editing done today, but part of that is because I did a really long stream last night over on Twitch TV. It was, a 5.5 hour long stream, I believe, which is the longest stream that I have done in, I don't know, half a decade, maybe more. It's a long stream for me. I usually do shorter streams than that, and I haven't been streaming a whole lot lately, but I've been getting more into it again lately, just because I've been shifting things around and making time for it, and that's been a really fun time. So hey, if you like Streets of Rogue, which is a really fun indie game, there's gonna be a whole lot of that up on the channel. In fact, I'm sure there's like 5 hours of that already up on the channel by the time you're watching this video. Anyway, I need to go get editing all that stuff. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.